my first year would have been probably about over 100 easily.
Oh, wow.
It was just mind-blowing. And that's what made me think, I wish I had done this a long time ago.
So we're here with Ricky today. Hi Ricky.
Hi Perry, how are you?
Good, thanks. I guess the first question we'd like to ask is just basically how you came about to finding out about the Fox franchise.
Well, actually saw a guy driving around with a Fox trailer.
Yep.
I was looking into other franchises first, but because I wasn't aware of Fox at the moment, and then noticed the Fox, looked it up, and made the initial call, and got the interview with yourself and Ian.
Oh, excellent. And before that, how long were you thinking about getting into your own business?
Probably 15 years.
Yeah? Wow, that's a long time.
But I didn't have the courage to jump into it.
Oh, good.
I was more comfortable at the job I was doing at that time, and was plenty of work for me there. But then obviously made the initial call and looked into it and made the move.
Oh, good. And what made you, I suppose, what gave you the courage to make that initial move?
Well, actually speaking to yourself and Ian, that first initial interview with you, pretty much convinced me straight away that I would be doing the right thing, and with the backup from you two, and that's why I got straight in the car, rang the wife, and said this is a franchise for us.
Well, excellent. And how did she react?
She was pretty shocked. She thought I would have waited a little while to think about it first, but at the time I just wanted to get out of what I was doing before and get into something for myself, and she's like, okay, go for it, it's all up to you, and it was done within the next couple of weeks. I was on Fox.
And can I just ask, what sold you on Fox compared to obviously the competitors that you looked at?
Well, obviously the leads being free, and I found that it wasn't as expensive to get into the Fox as compared to the other franchises. And then the support that I would have been getting from you, I found talking to other Foxes that I've seen that they were happy with the support they were getting off you as well, and that made me think, well, this is the one for me. Okay,
fantastic. Well, we're pleased that you've joined us.
I am too.
And we can see how well you've done, and it's very exciting for us as well. So can you run through, for those who've never run a business before, what was your first 6 months like with Fox?
Well, it was actually, because I started in COVID, I didn't have initial training because we couldn't have people come out. So it was pretty daunting. I think you probably remember how many times I rang you up and I was stressed I was losing hair that I didn't already have.
And was that helpful?
Very, very helpful. You put me back into place. So pretty much for me it was like the work part was easy, even if it was hard or was like, I've always been a worker, so that didn't bother me. It was more or less getting the quoting right, but I learned from that. I think if anything that was good to just get out and learn that way. So it was easy then after the 6 months to then, and obviously I had training afterwards and that, so it was easy then to be able to learn more and more from there.
Oh, good. And do you mind sharing with us what your first year's turnover was?
Well, geez, I think
just
roughly about my first year would have been probably about over 100 easily.
Oh, wow.
Excellent. It went from what I was earning being a butcher to it was just mind-blowing. And that's what made me think, I wish I had done this a long time ago, because it was
15 years ago?
Oh, easy. 2003 I looked into this and into lawn mowing. And then because of COVID, and I've been doing the same job all my life, and my wife's a hard worker too, we just thought this was perfect for us. Talking to other franchisors and other people, because I actually have a couple of friends that have been doing it for a long time, they just convinced me just to get into it and just go for it.
Well, we've seen what Pip's able to do.
She loves it.
She kills the rest of the females. So how has owning a Fox Mowing franchise impacted your life, and what do you enjoy most about it?
Well, it's impacted me for the fact that, like, before my other job, I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Actually getting up at 3 o'clock, starting at 4 o'clock, where now I don't get out of bed till 6, 7 o'clock. I get to have that breakfast time with my kids in the morning before we go to daycare, or even before I even go to work. I've got that little time with them. And then it's also that if I'm working in my area, I can go home and have lunch with them.
Nice.
If I decide I want to have an early day, I can just change whatever I want and have an early day and spend time with them. And then if I've got other plans that I want to do things, I can change things to suit my life, you know. And
excellent. So the flexibility of your own time.
Yep, you can either work, 24/7 if you want to, pretty much. But you can change things around to suit what you want to do. Yeah.
And that's the beauty of running your own business, isn't it?
Definitely. Like, I still do a lot of hours, but that's my choice because I love the fact that there's plenty of work there, and I can't turn away jobs because I think it's money lost. So then it's just pretty much up to what you want to make it. Yeah.
Well, we've noticed just talking with us, you can't say no.
I can't. I've got to learn to. I find that I've got to try and make the jobs, like if it's someone that I'm doing a job and they come from across the road, it's easy to say yes. But then
do you get a lot of that? Can I ask?
Yeah, there is a fair bit. Definitely. I think a lot of times that people are not sure to approach you straight away. It's been a few visits before they've come over and said, can you give me a quote, and then obviously meeting them, and then they talk to their neighbours and they find that that they're relaxed with you after seeing you a few times. You're not just going there to do a clean up job and then you're never going back again.
Good.
And they speak to the neighbour and find out what quality of work we do, and they've been happy. Yeah.
So have you had to do any advertising off your own back?
No, none.
Everything.
When I first initially was planning this, I made up my own little business cards before I became in the Fox, because I was still working in the butcher shop at that time. Handed out a few of them, but other than that, haven't had to do nothing.
Good.
Which has been great because I don't know how to do it.
Okay. What would you have done if you were looking at doing it all on your own?
Oh, I wouldn't have done it on my own. There's no way. And that's why I chose a franchise, because of the support from all of yourselves and Leo and the Fox and everyone. So there was no chance I would do it by myself. Yeah.
Oh, good. You've given us a good idea of the sort of support you get from us. Do you also find that you get support from the franchise owners?
Oh, definitely. I always, there was Lucas that was in my area that I would be constantly talking to, Toby, constantly talking to them, and Anthony from Fox is fantastic. If I've got issue or need to know something of whatever it is, I can always give him a text or catch up with him, and he's always been there, and no problem at all.
Oh,
it's been really good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And how was your wife's Peeps feeling when you first started this?
Oh, she had no, if anything, she was slapping me around the head that I was waking up in the middle of the night stressed because of the COVID situation. But she was always like, just keep going out, just keep going, do what you're doing. And then now obviously we work together, which has been pretty good.
Yeah, excellent. That's the best thing about running your own business. You can bring in partners and you bring in children.
Yeah, it's been really good. But I'm not the boss anymore now because she's there. So
that's good.
Yeah, she tells me what to do. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Now that you've had 2 years of owning a Fox franchise, how has that compared to what you expected to get out of it in the beginning?
It's been much easier.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a lot more the bookwork and all that. I thought that like having to do invoices, do all that kind of stuff. I thought that was going to be a lot harder. But obviously learning with QuickBooks and I find that it's actually easy just to send the invoices. I was more worried about that kind of stuff. But other than that, it's been quite easy. It's all a learning curve when you're going. So other than that, it's been quite good. Yeah.
Good. And what do you think was the hardest?
The hardest part would have been that part, the QuickBooks and all that, learning all that kind of stuff. Because I've never done it before. But once I got my head around everything and talking to yourself and you show me some things, and then the meetings that we've had here in regards to accounting sort of stuff, it's been like I've still got a bit to learn, I think. But it's always a learning curve. You learn things.
Well, that's the attitude. I mean, that's how businesses grow.
Exactly.
When you start learning, you pretty much don't get very far.
Exactly.
what about working for aged care?
Oh.
I know you do a few
Yeah.
aged care
Yeah,
facilities.
oh, that's been great.
Yeah.
You know, like you get to
Yeah.
have a little talk to the residents, and
Yeah.
you know, and there's been a bit of work, even though I'm working for the aged care. There's a lot of private jobs there to be done.
Yeah.
So then through their packages and all that, so
Yeah.
it's been really good. You know.
Yeah.
I was lucky to pick up the ones that I have, and they've been really good to work with. Yeah.
And can you just outline that particular job?
Yeah.
What size was it?
Well, there's 75 units, including all the common areas.
Yeah.
So I'm there fortnightly, doing the mowing, doing the cleaning of the trees and that. And now I'm on to doing the mulch,
Wow.
which is going to take me probably a couple of months
Nice.
for the size of it. So there's been, and that'll get me through winter, which is really good. And there's a lot of work there. Yeah.
Excellent. And how did you come across that job?
A lead through here.
Excellent. So you never know what comes through.
Yeah. It was just a lead, which surprised me because it was just it didn't say anything as in what kind of job it was, and now I've gone from just doing the mowing to now then picking up the gardening, and now picking up the complete package of doing the whole lot. Yeah, it's been great.
Fantastic. Yeah. So never underestimate what leads come through.
Exactly, because you just don't know. You know, you think it just says mowing, and it could be mowing 300 units, or it could be mowing 75 units. Yeah, exactly.
So, in your opinion, what would you say sets Fox Mowing apart from other similar businesses, and do you think it was a smart investment last year?
Well, the thing I was told by talking to guys from Fox before I even joined it, guys that I spoke to with other franchises before I even joined, and my friends that have been, they said the biggest regret will be is that you regret you didn't do it earlier.
Yeah.
And that has been definitely, I wish I had done this back in 2003 when I was going to do it, because I'd be probably semi-retired by now. Because it's just been great. So.
Do you think you can sit still?
No. Like even now, I choose to work 6 days a week.
Yeah.
Where I don't have to, but that's just been me. I've always worked 6 days a week, and I just, if not, some days I've been working 7 days a week because there's just been that much work out there.
Yeah.
But my wife said, "Nah, look, that's it. It's 5.5 days, and that's it."
Do you, speaking of work, do you find winter slows down for you?
No, I've had no problem in winter. I thought starting, because everyone was telling me. Not the gardeners, but where I used to work before, they're going, oh, what's going to happen during winter? I'll just wait and see. And I find that the first quarter I done was one of my biggest quarter in winter.
Wow.
With all the weeding, mulching and all that. So, if anything, I'm looking for a lot of rain so I can have a day off.
Yeah, good.
But there's always been just plenty of work. Like today was raining and I'm still working,
And are you coming into your, third year?
Third year in April.
Year?
August, yeah.
Fantastic,
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And have you been able to go on holidays?
I've had one holiday and I need another holiday.
How long was your holiday?
I took 3 weeks off, which was good to have the time off, but then it was a killer trying to catch back up, and because it was just time and a half to try and just get everything done again, because before I went on holidays, I told all my customers and I let them all know, and they're like, well, the weeds will be there and the grass will be there when you get back, and it just took me so long to catch up. But that's what it's all about.
That's it.
And the money's there, and
Were you able to get assistance from, or did you think about maybe getting other franchise owners to help you out?
I thought about it, but I'm more that I'd rather do it myself until I really need to, because obviously I'd rather keep the money in my pocket. And then I had my son come out with me a little bit here and there, and now obviously this year, we're planning on maybe having holidays soon, but I'll have my wife that's now out with me 6 days a week, so she'll come out with me to help catch back up again.
Excellent.
So obviously back then I didn't have my ride on, which I've now purchased a ride on, and so that helps a lot.
Good.
Which is
and
really good.
how would you say that's helped your business?
Big time. Well, I can now get in and out the jobs much quicker, and I've got a ride on that's got a catcher, because a lot of my customers like catched. So I find that now I can do the jobs in half the time, and I can plan more jobs for that day within the same area, and I can just knock them out really quick with me, my wife whippersnipping, me doing the mowing, and she does all the blowing. Yeah, so it's great.
Fantastic. So between your first year and your current, what were the changes that you put in place to your business to grow?
Well, one, the ride on. I'm now looking at a new trailer, a bigger trailer. And then obviously I found that when I first got the franchise, I was taking work left, right, centre, doesn't matter where it was. Where now I'm scaling down to mainly my areas.
Okay, so you're compacting.
Yes, definitely. And I've got that flexibility to do that now. And I was just taking on any job where now I can pick the jobs I want to do, and I can scale it down to where it's easier for me to knock over more jobs in my area and the areas that I'm in. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I think we have one more question, and that question is basically, what advice would you give to someone who's considering investing in Foxmill franchise?
Just go for it. Like it's really scary because it's a new thing, and like even when I first started, like I was up in the middle of the night, stressed like you would not believe, because I didn't know. But then now that I do know, I'd say, look, just go out there and take each day as it comes. You'll underquote, you'll overquote. If you overquote, that's a bonus. But if you underquote, you learn from that. And you just learn. It's a more of a learning curve to be able to do what you like. And even though at first I'm not a big gardener person, but I like being out there now. I'm outdoors, I'm talking to people, and I take pride in my work. And I think that's what they like, and they can feel comfortable around me.
So a lot of the time it is about being genuine, isn't it?
It's definitely. If you don't like the job, don't take the job. There's no point taking on a job if you don't like it, or you don't feel comfortable doing it. I have turned down jobs where I just don't feel comfortable with that person. I don't feel comfortable doing that job, and I've just said it's not the job for me, and I'm happy to give it a miss.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And the next few years, what have you got in plan for the next year or two?
Jeez, okay, that's a curveball. I didn't.
No, it's actually not on the list.
It's not on there. Well, just to be able to scale it down to where I'm at the moment I'm probably about 70% in my area. I like to get to about 90%.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah, definitely. I'm getting my new trailer soon, so that's going to be helping it easier to get the ride on and off. And just learning more to running the business, as in making sure I'm doing the QuickBooks right. Good. And I'm earning the money I should be for what I'm doing. And other than that, it's just going to be just, probably if anything, I like to get it down to 5 days a week so I can spend more time with my kids. But that'd be probably me just making sure I can turn away work, because I can't say no.
Would you consider putting on another trailer with somebody else?
I don't know, because I don't know if it's like, I'd rather just be me and my wife, and then obviously when I take my son out, I'd rather just be that. I know a lot of people like to build their business putting on trailers. I don't know if I can do that yet. I'm happy with what I'm making now, and I'm happy with the hours I'm doing and what I'm learning at the moment. So.
And the great thing is that you recognise that you don't have to grow with trailers.
I don't.
I'm by compacting your business.
I'm blown away by what I'm making now compared to what I was making the first year, compared to what I was making being a butcher.
Can you share the experience?
Well, I've gone from like $20 an hour in a butcher shop to some jobs I'm making over $150 an hour now. And I could be. And I always, every time we do a job, me and the wife go, oh look, we just done that job in an hour and made $150, where that's 6 hours in a butcher shop in the freezing cold for one of us. So you look at it, that there's the sky's the limit to what you can make per hour, and what people will pay you to do a good job, and they're happy for you to still come in and do a job for an hour and earn $150 between the both of us, because we're getting so much work done.
Exactly.
And they're happy with the work we're doing. They're going, they're happy to pay that. Where other people that if they want to get in and do a $150 shit job, they won't get called back. Where everyone's been happy with what we've been doing. So they're happy to pay that money.
Excellent. Well, you're a very we think, a very successful franchise owner, and we're really pleased to have you on board.
Thank you.
And we just want to see you grow
Yeah,
and grow in whichever direction you want. And as you know, it doesn't have to be putting on trailers.
Oh, yep.
And the fact that you can see the incremental growth.
Oh,
it's
definitely.
not even incremental. It's actually quite. It's quite different year to year.
Yeah. Well, I've been blown away by the actual fact that I thought the first year of having how many clients I have compared to now after 3 years, I think I've grown so much so quick to where I can scale back to where it's now going to be just in my area hopefully soon. And
excellent.
It'd be really good. Yeah,
that's good. So we're thinking that maybe your current year you're looking at what, 150, 200?
Oh, easily. Without a doubt. And it's just it's been, I noticed it's been easy because the clients I've got that I've had for like 3 years that are mostly my really good regulars, and now I've picked up the aged care, and I've got a few on the pipeline that I'm going to be taking on in my area, I reckon by next year it'll probably be close to even 200 by the end of this year, if not early next year.
Fantastic.
Easily.
So to sum it up, your business, you can take your business in any direction. You, as long as you're prepared to do the work. And obviously there's plenty of work out there.
I haven't I've scaled my leads out where when I first started I was wanting leads up to 45, 50 k's away from my. I can't do that anymore. I just want Pakenham, and if I don't get as many per week, I'm okay with that because there's still plenty of work there for me. I don't have to be worrying about those leads coming in
because you've got customers that you can get back to.
Not a problem, and there's always been work. Obviously, you've got to upsell yourself, which making sure when you get there, you tell them about this and that, and they're always been happy to go, okay, let's do some mulching, let's do the weeding, do the gutters here and there, and which I'm not a big fan of guttering. I think it takes up too much of my time. But it's been always good, you know, to sell yourself.
And the beauty is that if you don't like it, don't do it.
Well, that's it.
If it's not
if I don't feel comfortable, I don't like getting up on roofs, so I just don't do it. And I've turned away a few gutter jobs here and there because it just looks like it'll be too much of a pain where I can go and earn better money just mowing lawns if I need to.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, look, thank you very much, Ricky.
No
Thanks
problem.
for spending the time having a chat to us about your business. And
no problem at all.
We're very pleased. And we're always looking for good operators like yourself.
Yeah.
So if you know of anyone,
yes,
definitely.
definitely.
To Fox.
Oh, good. No problem at all. Yeah.
Thanks.
No problem.